It's small, silver, and often overlooked. For most people, it's just loose change, something that rattles at the bottom of your pocket, or disappears between couch cushions. But for collectors and historians, even the tiniest coin can hold an enormous story. Today, we explore the 2012 Elizabeth II 5-pence coin, an unassuming piece of British currency that carries centuries of tradition, a name surrounded by myths, and a value at auction that may surprise you. We'll uncover the origins of this coin, the meaning of its Latin inscriptions, the history of the 5-pence denomination, the myths that swirl around supposed rarities, and finally, what it's really worth in today's market. By the end of this journey, you may never look at a 5-pence coin the same way again. The obverse of the 2012 5-pence coin features a familiar image, Queen Elizabeth II. But like every coin portrait, this is not just art, it is authority, tradition, and continuity pressed into metal. Elizabeth II D times G times Reg times F times D. At first glance, these letters may look mysterious, almost like a secret code. In truth, they are the survival of Latin traditions that date back over 1,000 years. D times G times Reg times F times D stands for Dei Gratia Regina Fidei Defensa. Translated into English, this means, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. A Dei Gratia Regina affirms her rule as divinely sanctioned, a tradition carried through from monarchs who once claimed a literal, God-given right to rule. A Fidei Defensa, or Defender of the Faith, is a title first granted to Henry VIII by Pope Leo X in 1521 for defending Catholicism. Ironically, Henry later broke with Rome, but the title endured, passing on to his successors. Thus, even a modern 5-pence coin minted in 2012 carries this centuries-old message: Elizabeth II, by God's grace, Queen, and Defender of the Faith. The portrait itself was designed by Ian Rank Broadley, whose initials IRB appear below the neck. His portrait of Elizabeth II was first introduced in 1998 and became instantly recognizable for its realism. Unlike earlier portraits that softened her features, Rank Broadley's design embraced age with dignity, showing the Queen as she truly appeared. This realism resonated with many, making the 2012 5-pence coin a small but meaningful part of that legacy. Flip the coin, and the reverse reveals something equally symbolic: a fragment of the Royal Shield of Arms. Since 2008, Britain's coinage underwent a redesign that was both modern and traditional. Rather than repeating the same heraldic imagery on each coin, the Royal Mint split the shield across multiple denominations. Either 1 penny carried part of the lower portcullis, either 2 pence held part of the banner, and the 5-pence coin shows a section of the heraldic shield, specifically the upper right quadrant, containing part of the Lion Rampant of Scotland. Put together, the full set of coins from 1p to 50p formed a complete royal shield. This clever design, created by Matthew Dent, won a public competition. Dent, a young graphic designer at the time, sought to modernize British coinage while grounding it firmly in tradition. His work was praised as one of the most innovative redesigns in modern coinage history. Thus, the 2012 5-pence is not just a coin, it's one small puzzle piece of a larger story. Why does the year 2012 matter? For Britain, 2012 was a year of celebration. It marked Queen Elizabeth II's Diamond Jubilee, commemorating 60 years on throne. It was also the year London hosted the Summer Olympic Games, bringing global attention to the UK. The 5-pence coin, though not directly commemorative, was minted against this backdrop of national pride and global spotlight. Millions were struck for circulation at the Royal Mint in Llantrisant, Wales. While the coin itself was not rare, the year 2012 imbues it with cultural resonance, a reminder of Britain at a moment of both tradition and modernity. To truly understand the 2012 5-pence, we need to look back at its origins. The 5-pence coin was first introduced in 1968, 2 years before Britain's full decimalisation in 1971. It replaced the old shilling, which had been worth 1/20th of a pound. The size and value were equivalent, ensuring continuity during the decimal shift. For decades, the 5-pence coin remained larger, 24 millimeters in diameter, But by 1990, the Royal Mint decided to reduce its size, citing practicality and cost. The new 5 pence, introduced that year, was 18 millimeters wide and weighed 3.25 grams. By 2012, the coin had long been established in its smaller form, composed of nickel-plated steel, a durable, silvery alloy designed for everyday circulation. Thus, every time you hold a 2012 5 pence, you're holding not just a coin, but the descendant of centuries of British monetary evolution, from shillings to decimalisation to the modern currency system. Here's where things get interesting. Though the 2012 5 pence coin is common, myths and rumours surround it online. Collectors often hear about supposed rare errors, or valuable additions that turn everyday coins into hidden treasures. Among the most common myths: 1. The rare 2012 5 pence error coin. Internet listings sometimes claim misstruck or misprinted 5 pence coins from 2012 are worth hundreds of pounds, while true minting errors can fetch higher prices. The vast majority of these claims are exaggerated or outright false. 2. The Olympic connection. Some sellers try to link the 2012 5 pence to the London Olympics, implying a hidden commemorative status. In reality, while the Royal Mint did issue special Olympic 50 pence coins, the standard 2012 5 pence has no Olympic connection. 3. The withdrawn coin myth. Rumours occasionally surface that 2012 5 pence coins were withdrawn or recalled. This is simply untrue. Millions were minted, and they remain legal tender today. These myths thrive because people want to believe that their ordinary coin might secretly be rare, and sometimes genuine rarities do slip through. Error coins like double strikes, off-center prints, or clipped planchets. But such cases are few and far between, and must be authenticated by professional graders. So what is a 2012 Elizabeth II 5 pence coin actually worth today? In most cases, the answer is simple: 5 pence. These coins were struck in the tens of millions and are still in circulation. For everyday examples, collectors will not pay more than face value. However, condition and rarity matter. A standard circulated coin, worth 5p, or an uncirculated mint condition coin, collectors might pay between £1 to £3, or a proof coin from collector sets could fetch £5 to £10, depending on demand. A genuine minting errors. These are the only examples that could reach higher values, sometimes £20 to £100 or more, depending on the error's uniqueness and appeal. At auction houses and online platforms like eBay, most 2012 5 pence coins sell for small amounts, often as part of bulk lots. The true value lies not in monetary worth, but in the story, history, and design. Why, then, do people care about such a small coin? Part of the answer lies in psychology. Coins are tangible links to history. They pass from hand to hand, generation to generation, carrying unseen stories of daily life. For Britons, the 5 pence is a reminder of change, both literal and symbolic. It connects the old shilling of the pre-decimal era to modern currency. It carries the Queen's portrait, the national shield, and inscriptions that tie modern Britain to its medieval past. In 2012, during the Queen's Diamond Jubilee, even the most ordinary coins became subtle souvenirs of a once-in-a-lifetime moment. For numismatists, the students of coins, collecting, even common denominations like the 5 pence, is part of a broader journey. Collectors look for a condition. Is the coin circulated or uncirculated? A minting errors, double strikes, die cracks, off-center issues. A proof additions, special strikes with higher quality. A historical context. Coins from Jubilee years often gain attention. The 2012 5 pence may never fetch thousands at auction, but it holds a place in collections that seek completeness, historical narrative, or simply the joy of numismatics. In the end, the 2012 Elizabeth II 5 pence coin is not rare, nor is it especially valuable in monetary terms, but it is a small window into a much larger story, a story of monarchy, tradition, design, and national pride. It reminds us that history does not always shout, it whispers, sometimes from the smallest pieces of change in our pockets. So the next time you find a 5 pence coin, take a moment to look closer. You might not discover a hidden fortune, but you'll be holding a piece of Britain's living history.